Yo sup, so as you've read in the title, in this rather quick video I'll be breaking down exactly how Russell Brunson made $236 million last year with ClickFunnels, and also be breaking down the three dead simple systems that he uses to make all of this possible. Now, like I already said, this is going to be a fairly quick video because I try to simplify this process as much as possible so that you can understand it easily and implement it inside your business after watching this video. Now, first of all, we gotta understand that Russell sends all of his customers through a three-step journey, through all of the systems that he has. The first one being his traffic system. Once he's attracted all kinds of customers with this traffic system, he goes on to send them to his nurture interested lead system, where he, as the name suggests, essentially nurtures all his leads to build a relationship with them. At the end of the day, after he has built that relationship, he will send them to a third and final system that ends up converting those leads into paying customers. Now, the very first step in this whole customer journey are his traffic sources, where he has three main sources that I'll be breaking down in this video. The first one being his Instagram, the second being his YouTube channel, and the third being a podcast, which is actually really interesting, but I'll go more into detail there later down the line. Now, if we just look at all of his different channels, we quickly see that his Instagram is by far the biggest one. And the reason that is because on there he posts all kinds of business and life advice that attracts a broad customer audience. If we just look at his views, we see that his message usually generates, well, what about 100,000 views? About 10,000 to 100,000 views right there. And with all that traffic he generates from this kind of content, he can attract leads and get more exposure in his market. What he usually does after he attracts a broad customer base to his Instagram channel is he usually sends them onto his YouTube, where he breaks down a few more detailed marketing concepts and he nurtures the relationship with his customers even further. He posts these videos to kind of get them to know what it's like to work with him and to just build that relationship, as I already said. That's why the views on here aren't as many as on his main Instagram channel. However, they're not meant to be as well. Now, the special thing with his podcast is that the reason he does this is because Russell understands that on this kind of podcast, where he has multiple different episodes, he can invite other people onto this podcast who already have his ideal customers. And when the customers of the people that he has invited watch his podcast or listen to his podcast, in this case, he in some way wins over those customers for his business as well. And the best part is, with this kind of podcast, he really owns his audience because he has his own show. He can get banned on social media, but he can't get banned on his own show. So even if something happens to him on YouTube or on Instagram, it won't really damage his business that much because he still has this main show where he drives all his customers to and where he owns his audience and his traffic. Now, once he has collected all this traffic, he will send that traffic to something that we marketers call a lead magnet. A lead magnet is usually some kind of valuable resource that would be desirable to your prospects, and in this case, Russell drives his people to some kind of newsletter where he provides value for his ideal customers. On this website, the prospects will give Russell their main email, their phone number, their info, whatever it might be. And after they sign up to his newsletter, he will go ahead and send them multiple emails that further nurture the relationship. After that, the customers can get to know him more. He can tell stories on this newsletter to bond with his customers. And just like he does with his podcast, he drives all of his traffic to his newsletter because he owns the traffic there. It can't be taken away from him. And Russell usually likes to say that the gold in a business is within your customer list. In that case, his email list, because your social media can get banned, your ad account can get banned. However, your customer list will never be able to be taken away from you. And in case you ever need some quick cash for your business, you can simply sell a few products to your customer list, and because you have built that relationship with them, they will essentially buy anything that you ever put out, and you don't have to sell them that hard on your product. What he also does on this newsletter is he provides a ton of value, and he also sells his customers on his vehicle. In that case, funnels. If you know anything about Russell, you know that he owns a company called ClickFunnels, like I initially mentioned, and it's essentially all about creating sales pages and online websites that sell some kind of product in order to get money from prospects. That's essentially all he does. And inside his newsletter, he really teaches his audience that funnels are the best way to make money for a business. He kind of sells them on the idea of building a funnel before actually pitching them on building a funnel. And the reason he does this is because then people are already determined to buy before he even asks for the sale. And that just makes selling way easier. Now, once his prospects are ready to be sold, once he has planted that belief inside their heads that funnels are the best way to make sales for a business, he will go on to send them to his closing system, or in this case, the website for his actual company called ClickFunnels. On this website, he collects the emails from his prospect, like we see right there, so he can follow up with the prospect in case they don't immediately buy the subscription for his company. Because if you're not familiar, ClickFunnels is essentially a software that allows you to build these funnels and these sales pages way more easily than other competitors of his. Now, like I already said, once his prospects are already warmed up, he will sell them on his website with this checkout page right there. And there's a whole bunch of magic inside here that pushes the amount of money that he makes from his company even further. First of all, he has an upsell in his offer right here, where the customer can essentially add some kind of funnel script to their order while they already buy the subscription for his actual ClickFunnels software. And the reason he sells funnel scripts inside his website is actually really smart, because he understands that whenever we add upsells to our websites, they always need to be the next logical step in the customer journey. For example, he has just sold them on his software where he allows his prospects to create funnels. Now his prospects are able to create funnels, at least in their mind, since they bought the subscription. However, they're not really sure about everything that goes inside this funnel. The copy, the VSL, how they ask for the order, how they tell stories, or how they create a website that sells. They now can create funnels, but they're not sure what they need to put inside those funnels in order to make sales. And that's why, with this upsell, he sells the prospect on a logical next step, which are funnel templates. So his customers know what they need to put inside of their funnel in order to generate sales. I hope that makes sense. And that's not even everything that's on this website right here. He even has a 100% risk-free trial where his customers can check out how this works, and if they're not 100% satisfied, they have a money back guarantee that they can take advantage of to essentially get their money back after 30 days. And the reason Russell does this is because when we have some kind of guarantee on our offer, it allows us to reverse all the risk that is involved in the deal, right? It puts all the risk of this deal off our prospect shoulder and puts it onto yours. And only when we have a guarantee like this can we maximize our sales. Because with a guarantee like this, we can turn ordinary offers into irresistible ones that his prospects would probably feel stupid for not buying. Now, just let's do some money math. ClickFunnels in 2025 mentioned that they currently have 100,000 users that pay $197 every single month for their subscription. Now that adds up to $236 million in yearly recurring revenue. And that's not even the best part. We're not even counting all of his other offers. He has books that he sells. He also has other programs. He has courses. He has masterclasses and everything in between. And even if you don't buy the ClickFunnels subscription the very first time, on this particular website, since he has collected your info, like I already said, he will send you multiple emails reminding you to actually go ahead with your purchase and subscribe to his software. And with all these rather simple systems in place, Russell was able to generate a heck load of money just in a single year in yearly recurring revenue. Now, these kind of systems are actually working really well in the online space right now, and they always have because they rely on simple biopsychology and human behavior. And the best part is, you can actually go ahead and implement the system into any kind of business. It doesn't really matter what kind of niche you're in, you can make this work for every single one. And this is just one kind of system that we can create for our funnels to maximize our orders. So if you'd like to deploy this kind of funnel system into your business, then I'll have my Instagram below in the description where you can just shoot me a message saying that you essentially watched this video, that you'd like to deploy this funnel system for your business as well, and we can have a chat. Or if you'd like to skip the line and essentially have a call with me directly where we can talk this through and see how this whole system could work for you, then I'll also have a Calendly link in the description that you can essentially click and book a call with me within the next few days. Hope this helps either way, and see you.